Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Marshall Trammell. I was brought here to do this project by Candace and Raven, your friends. And I've been knowing Raven and them for maybe since like 2014. I was in a band called Black Spirituals. So I brought you here to do this kind of workshop, okay? And so there's a few things I want to find out about you. And I'm going to introduce this practice to you, and then I'm going to engage you in a practice where we're going to change this landscape together. Is that okay with you? Sure. Head nods and smiles. So that's our first agreement that we have. We've agreed to work together. Let's give ourselves a hand of applause. Like, good job. So how many of you were born in a hospital? Most of us? All of us? What happens when you're born in a hospital? When you're born in a hospital, you're born in basically like you're born in a place where representatives of the state are present, right? You're born, and someone who's not part of your family guides you out of your mother, if that's the case, spank your ass, and they mark you down in their documents. So the state is impressed upon us. From our first memories of being born in this world, we're kind of extracted from our parents, and then the state has a relationship to us and our bodies right away. How many of y'all went to like state schools, like went to like a county school? I remember seeing pictures of my friends before they went to school, and then after they went to first grade or kindergarten. And they're different, like you're great, and then you go to the state fucking school and you have to do all this stricture, and they impress shit upon you. They imprint these things upon our bodies, and they conscript us to labor, to work, we learn how to be laborers within the body of the state, and it becomes a part of who we are. And I think as we grow up, we're like, fuck this, and like this tension that I feel constantly is like, no, I'm not, fuck them. Like those are the same apparatus that are killing us. The same apparatus that are, and they're like changing my body so I fit into these forms. Let's not do that. So my work, this work is about fighting that thing that exists, this state apparatus, and looking at the types of harm that's imprinted upon us, and understanding how colonialism acts. We understand the behavior, like we understand how this fucking Wolverine acts, or this actor, we know all these fucking actors. We understand how colonialism acts. We can break down how to fight against those things. So I want us to invest in understanding the tenets of the oppressors, so that we can build resistances that make fucking sense at this time. So this project is going to engage you in a practicum where we're translating. As human beings, we're constantly translating signs, like semiotic, signs in culture. We're constantly translating, like experiencing culture, the poetics of the state, the poetics of resistance, the poetics of these dogs. There's constant stimulus, and I think part of our job is to understand how that shit works, and have an analysis, have a methodology. Understand that there are systems in culture that we can create some analysis by, like, this shit makes sense, it'll make sense. Referencing those things to history. Oh yeah, that's kind of like the revolution, that's kind of like Stalinism, that's kind of like this. And then building new formations. More information that we have, the different kinds of movement, right? A lot of experimental artists here. We're not playing like Justin Bieber songs for a reason. We could be. We'd be great at it, but we don't do it for a reason. And then once we're moving differently, right? And then we emancipate places differently. Like democratic practices happen, collective strategies happen, different ways of fighting the state happen based on looking at signs in culture, and now having an analysis, referencing history, moving differently based on these things, and then emancipating and maintaining democratic spaces. And these are called the technologies of the methodologies of the oppressed. I didn't make this shit up. I brought it from this Chicana feminist scholar, Chela Sandoval. Methodologies of the Oppressed. All this shit you see is just, it's already stuff that exists. I'm not like creating anything. I'm just like, I just want to get my bookcase off my bookcase. You know what I mean? Like I want to activate this stuff that I've learned and put it into the world and then keep moving and pass it on this place to this place and see what kind of things react. Does that make sense? Any questions right now? Cool. So we talk about what gets imprinted upon our bodies as children is this relationship to the state. But I say, fuck that, right? Those things happen. That's not the end of the story. And what becomes more important to me is like how we reference resistance practices that are already in culture, that always already exist, and how do we organize those things to meet this relevant moment, this political landscape, you know. So I will show you. So one of the things that came to mind through my work is the technologies of the Underground Railroad. It means a lot to me. Negro spirituals. Who's heard of the secret Underground Railroad quilt codes? So some of you all have. So first, it's a secret. So when people are trying to get free, you need to have an underground to help. Yes, sir.
I just want to put this back on you so we don't.
Oh,
yeah, no problem.
Thank you. I didn't see that. Yeah. Rewinding.
Yeah, just
zip, 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 zip.
Can you repeat that about the your question?
No, the side.
What? Where should I stop?
Railroad, yeah. For documentation.
How many of y'all have heard of the secret Underground Railroad? Nobody? No. I see some hands. I see some hands and smiles. It's super important. It's part of an archive. That's really. I've read things people say, well, we're not really sure that this Underground Railroad existed. I don't give a fuck. Even if it didn't, it's an amazing story. Santa Claus, it's as good as Santa Claus, Spider-Man, Jesus Christ, the Underground Railroad. It's as real as all that shit to me, even if some historians say they can't see it. The fact that people fought on slave ships and fought back, some of y'all white folks, people fought on the Underground Railroad and fought back. Even if it's a myth, it's a great story and it gives me value. It gives this work value today, right? 200 years from now, this moment was whatever. The mythos will somehow be there for your great-grandchildren and shit. So fuck history. Facts is what we deal with. So during the Underground Railroad era, during the Civil War era, there was like an interculturally situated design project, which was to take pre-existing elements of visual culture, like quilts, the North Star, a boat or whatever, some birds, some bear paws on a print, and recontextualize it for this emancipatory project, guerrilla movement of helping people get free. Not slaves, they were the people, helping these enslaved Africans get free. And it was an intercultural guerrilla project. We wouldn't be here without Native people helping us through the Dismal Swamp. It wasn't just going north, it was going south. There were Native and black communities down in South America, and there were fucking pale-ass white motherfuckers helping us get free all over the place. Okay? And so we need to understand that narrative and these narratives of like fugitivity, narratives of solidarity. So in this point in time, it's been apparent to me to look at science and culture, have an analysis, look at history, make new formations, right? And then to develop democratic spaces, right? So looking at the Underground Railroad, you understand that people recontextualize music, sound. The sounds from the Underground, like, you know, they weren't just these jovial Africans playing songs. There was resistance in the music, in the structure, in the language. And in visual culture, so I'm rapping on visual culture. I was in a band called Black Spirituals. We were messing with these other things in signs and sound, and other work I do as a percussionist. But this work has helped me develop a visual culture, a visual thing that I didn't really think I had as a drummer. And so it's been translating dynamics, right? We translate this, what's written on the page, this visual stuff, we translate that in music and whatever. Like there's always, we're always translating. So, hey, my man. So with this thing, we have, this is the North Star quilt code. And I hired a sister to make a version of it with dyed maize. And she makes a lot of like anti-bad immigration policy, right? And like in San Antonio, she's from Texas, so so I had her. We did this workshop. I do a series of workshops I call insurgent learning, where I engage people into performing political education. And this is a kind of this is what's going to happen here. I didn't name it as such, but this is like an insurgent learning workshop where we're going to access Signs and Culture, Underground Railroad quilt codes. We're going to have an analysis. You're going to work in groups, all right? We're going to reference that history, and we're actually going to make new formations of quilt codes. So so what I had commissioned was a series of brands that are some of the forms from the Underground Railroad quilt codes. Not all of them, some. So we have circles. I have triangle. A triangle is also a square. Put two things together, it's a square. We have circles. We have smaller. We have other shapes in here, and we're cooking them. So that what the idea of this project is that I do this insurgent learning on a 2D scale. This is the first time I get to do it on a 3D scale, and I would like to show you how this process, right? If a lot of you are teachers, you show a process, and we want to make codes that mean something to us. That might mean something to a fugitive in our midst. So I'm going to ask you this thing. It's like, who are fugitives in our midst? How are we complicit to fugitivity that persists? That's by how the state persists in maintaining fugitivity in our midst. Right? This is an art project, and then I like for groups to create their own quilt codes. Maybe this circle means something special to your group, 2 or 3 of you, okay? And we want to know what that is. This is an art project, and then we're going to emblazon them on these little things of wood. Your groups will come over. We're going to nail them in here, right? This is kind of sturdy. You might have to brace it while your friend nails it up, right? I'll do the first one, and there's 10 more. So we're going to have how many groups of 5 or 10, right? We're going to go on down this way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to weave them together. So I'm going to have everything facing each other. All the forms on this side are going to face inward. The forms on that side are going to face inward. And I have a series of colors. And we're going to... So, any questions so far? I'm engaging you to get active and get sweaty a little bit, have a beard. We're going to pound these things in. So, yeah? Thank you. Thank you, Sue.
You don't want anyone to burn themselves, right?
I want you to burn yourself a little bit. No. If you're really down for the revolution, brands right here. Brand yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Good Lord. So last year I was brought down here, and I was doing this project of looking at science and culture. I was actually looking at the Underground Railroad, like where it happened, where it stopped, and I start to realize they're looking at, like, black folks have a lot of amnesia. We fucking forget a lot of shit, apparently, and so. I was investigating native slaves, like sites of native slave enslavement. And I came across the 1680 Pueblo Revolt. And a lot of black folks aren't even talking about that. We're talking about a lot of bullshit. We're not talking about that relationship to this. Even all of us talking about anti-gentrification in Oakland, all this stuff, Brixton, we're not talking about the land really. So how shallow is the conversation? Like, how is that allowed to continue? So I'm doing this artwork, but also I'm also engaged in other discussions with people. We're trying to address the discrepancy through acknowledging land. Where's this land from? Who are we fighting for? This tenement. We're fighting for this tenement on this land that's already been excised to someone else. Right? You all understand. So what I learned about was how the methodologies of resistance from the 1680 revolt. And so the braid, they braided these yucca cords. So last year I learned to make a cord and a little braid, and I put together a band, and we talked about the history, and then I had folks go around and make a braid within the show at Site Santa Fe, and we made music, and that was like the beginning of this band project. So with that project, we're instilling this political education practicum so that our relationships grow. So at the end of this, once we get all of our things up, I'll be braiding these colors. So there's all these different systems in play. I don't want to overload you with a lot of different information, but I'm also working on anti-violence formations, transformative justice formations, and within the language of transformative justice, we had to understand harm. We talked about understanding the tenets of colonial poetics. You understand that we have interpersonal harm, intercommunal harm that's happening here, and intersocial harm, like institutionalized racism. We need to understand that those things exist and persist in our society, and so we talk about the pillars of a harm-free zone, like a geography where there's no harm. A harm-free zone is a space. There's no reparation without transformation, without intervention, without prevention. There's no prevention without transformation, without reparation, and so forth. So the colors, they're representing, I put 5 colors in here to represent each of the 4 pillars of harm-free zone, but also the totality of them. So there's 5 of them. Okay, so it's not only 1, 2, 3, 4, but that they all exist at the same time. And they have to be. So we're going to be weaving these things up. Is there any questions about any of this shit that I'm talking about? Yeah? Okay.
I have a question. Are they say they're signposts? Is it like go this direction, or is it directional, spatial in that regard, or understand?
Great question. Hayward's asking about the forms themselves. So
The signal is sending. Is it like go this way, or here's the map kind of thing?
Cool.
Like physically, or
So this is the North Star quilt code. There were a bunch of quilt codes. This one means to follow the North Star, right? North is here. North is here. North is there. So if you needed to go north, you see that one, you know. So during plantation days, people would sneak back onto the plantations and do political education in the belly of the beast. I mean, to get together and say, they're doing this. And they'd say, at a certain time, we're going to break free. And here's the signs that you need to know. So what I'm asking you is to be complicit in this process. If you're going to break into groups, right? And if your group says, these things are important around what's critically going on in your community, because I don't know. I'm just a dude passing through. So I'm going to make one. It's based on some other stuff that I do. I'll talk about that if you like. But I'm interested in what y'all do. This is a community archive in the making. And I'm asking you to take a risk and be a part of this. This is like music. But it's not ephemeral. It's actually a post that means something. And so how do people who need shelter, how do people who need counseling, domestic violence counseling, how do they need these things in your community? What does it look like? How can a sign, you don't want to be it for the, you want to how does a sign have meaning? So that's up to you. and I'm interested in how that goes. And things aren't always clear. There's tension. In the Underground Railroad, I didn't bring all this stuff. There's the bear paws, and it means to like follow an animal. Don't follow no bear too close. That's not common sense. But you know that a bear is going to get food, they're going to get shelter, and you want to be close enough. There's the one that says the flying geese. Okay, the geese are going south, or whatever they're doing. Well, if they're going south, then you go their way. You know, there's the crossroads. There's the crossroads means you go to the Ohio River. You know, you want to get beyond that. The carpenter's wheel means to make sure you have all your tools ready, you know, when time comes. So in the instance of performing political education, when political education happened on a plantation, it meant that here are these elements of that we're going to move, our movement is going to happen, and then this is how it's going to move together. So in this project, you can define the new language for this emancipatory practice. If it's any questions more about that, it's an art project, but I'm also using this art project as a means to center community-based organizing strategies. We need to have similar language. If you're gonna have your band play music, y'all got the same bloody score, right? Or the same idea. We're gonna build the resistance practices that it's the best music ever. We gotta have the same language. We gotta be in the same boat. We gotta have this same amount of risk in it. So that's why we reference history. If it's these folks, if it's folks in Chile in 1971, if it's the boycott strategies in South Africa, like those boycotting this system works. That shit works. Okay, so I'm just fucking around, like I'm just doing this archive. Let's I want to know what you all do, and this will be. There's no wrong answers or whatever. It's a workshop, but it's an art making process, and it's an archive. And I'm really grateful to be here. So, we're gonna make one. My friend Matt here he's helped me make these things. So I also will give you these little cards I made. So my idea has been to make new quilt codes and put them into culture. So actually from last year, the making a braid has become like a quilt code for me. Like so I made several cards, and there's other instances of making new quilt codes and putting into culture. So I'm going to show you what the idea is, and we're going to try it out. Everybody okay with that? Cool. Cool. Can we get that circle? Yeah, that small circle. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Are you down with working in pairs? I might, can you all pair up? And each of y'all pairs are gonna, I want you to come take a look at some of the images that we're gonna fire up. And in your pairs or groups of 3, maybe think about fugitivity in your midst. What kind of things would you personally want to give to support that understanding of fugitivity that you develop? And yeah, take a look at some of these things, all right, when you get a chance. Yeah, let's try that. No, that's not hard enough. Yeah. I was doing too much talking. How you doing?
Good.
I like your hair. I like that gray style. It's
I
really...
washed it.
Oh, good for you. How you doing?
Good.
Cool.
This is cool.
Yeah.
I think I understand. It's a pretty complex idea. I mean, it's about all the different things, like what's within the community.
Too many things.
But I think I
Okay.
So basically these pieces, well, first we're supposed to discuss it.
Yeah, you and your
with
yeah.
partner. And then decide on what you want to depict or direct towards. And then what symbology best addresses it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing interesting things like people are making like little glasses of water that are half open, half empty with color and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. And so he's going to keep these hot so whenever we have our thing, we come back over here.
Yeah, we're going to try and make it as hot as possible. Thanks for bringing this.
Hey,
Thanks.
sorry that I
Good to
couldn't
see
find
you
the
again.
wall for it.
A wall?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a top on this side. It's a lot more shade that way.
It's great. How you doing, Sarah? All right, man. Thanks for sticking around. What's your name? Oh, you want me to take you? Yeah. I don't want you to have to like go back. I don't want you to like go to AA meeting now because of this. It is strong. All right. You finished it though. That's what's up. Are you from this neighborhood? Okay, cool. I'm just passing through. What's up, sis?
I'm just waiting for him to finish the call.
Okay. Pressing it down?
Just to press down on this once you set it where you need it. Whoops, yeah, let's not. And see if that does what you need it to do.
Yeah, real pro.
See if that 1-2 punch will get you there.
Yeah, this guy is fucking hot as motherfucker. Oh, look at this. Let me do this one.
It may take too long, but
This is the idea.
I think they have to be.
Testing this shit out. This one's not. Yeah. Okay. Come on. This. Not quite there yet.
So you're just burning all those plasmas out.
No, I'm just doing a test. But once we're hot enough, we can see if we can get some. Yeah, basically, yeah. Is everyone paired up? Does everyone have a pair?
yeah, if I'd known what you were up to, I would have said start a fire at 2. And then you got your embers. Getting there.
Yeah, and some paper or something.
Trying to figure out how long it
Cool.
takes to light a log with a. I've seen these things used to do show Sukibon, the Japanese cedar siding treatment. What do you reckon? You want
This guy right here.
a big circle?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Fuck. No, this guy.
You want that guy next?
Yeah, yeah.
Tape on this real quick. Make sure that it went nowhere. That's kind of weird, but.
Fuck. Cool. Is any pair ready? We have. You want to? Are there any pairs that want to have particular shapes fired right now? I think the bit more we get these, yeah. You want a triangle fired? Okay, come forward, please, sir. Look at the triangles. There's a triangle. There's 2 triangles right here. There's a triangle there too. So, for this triangle, where's the one? Okay, yeah. Okay, this triangle. For this one, some of them have like a little nut on there.
Okay.
And you can screw that in there and he'll fire it up for you. And then you're gonna put it on can you hold this for him? So you wanna put it on this side. Yeah, screw it in there. We have triangles, different circles.
I want to get the big circle.
The big circle?
Yeah.
You're gonna need these pliers.
Okay.
Okay? And when he's ready, where's your partner?
Come here.
Okay, you need to hold that. Cool. There you go. Are you all part? Yeah, I'm just giving them to you. Yeah. Come on. Be safe. Are you all a team?
We're a team.
Okay. Do you have a? You're 3. Okay. Are you all teams?
3 of us are a team.
Okay. Very good.
We're ready to go.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Are you part of a team?
I'm not yet, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, here you go. Hold on to that though.
Okay, cool.
Are you all part of a team?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Patrick.
Marshall. Nice to meet you. Have we met before?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Corpus.
Yeah.
Cool. I've been talking to Edward though. Edward's been my main contact though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. What's up?
We're thinking like we wanted to do something that's direction like because it's developed in it's laid out in quadrants. Sort
What
of,
is?
If you look at the city.
Okay.
So if we wanted to do like signal to people like tent cities, place where you can find like food and protection, other people who are houseless and surviving that way. Would we want to develop one panel into quadrants to say it's in the southwest, or is that too obvious?
No, it's great. So like one thing you can do with the triangles is that you don't have to put the whole thing on there. If you're gonna make a straight line, just put one line on there. So you could actually make this into quadrants. You can make a I don't know how you can make an S, but if you're creative, you can figure out an S, or like the fucking metal S, with the S, and then I have a W, with these parallelograms. Just the parallelograms have like a little smaller straight edge, so maybe you could write something with it. Yeah, it's cool. Is this a group right here? Okay. Let me get you a thingy, a plaque. Get in there. Get in there. Ooh. What you need?
I'm just moving this.
Yeah. Hi there. What's your name?
Chris.
Marshall.
Marshall.
Nice to meet you.
Differentiate Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Celia. Yes. You all one group?
Yes.
Okay. Think about. You have any questions about what you want to do? What can I ask you? What that idea is? Does it involve a joint? No.
It's a sign indicating water resources in the desert, so we're going to represent a circle for water, triangle to give the direction in which it's located, and hash marks for how far it is.
Fuck yeah.
We get a lot of people who are coming through down south, right here, so and it's pretty harsh down there. Landscape.
Where are you from?
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm just from Hawaii, from the Bay Area. Yeah. Just some dude.
Firing these the whole time.
Thank you. This is great.
Probably hearing them over the torch.
All right. Come on, man. What you need? Do you need something?
No, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you. Okay, thanks. It's about my first cowboy hat since I was probably like 4.
We have an idea.
A few days ago.
We just have to get the big circle hot enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a cool thing, man. What fun. What fun on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, man.
Drink some of that. You'll want to.
Just be forward about it, and they'll take care of you. So what's up? Sir? Good to see you.
Hey, good job.
Good to see you. You heard some swearing? Ooh, I like those pants. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go right through here. Oh, hey, baby. Oh, you're so lovely. You guys are so lovely. Yeah? Yes, ma'am.
This side?
Yes, please. Let's be sure. Yo.
Should we launch in with the nailing it up, or we want us to wait? All right.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I'm still trying to get used to wearing this hat.
So does it matter, like, anywhere we want to put the nail, or?
Right in the center.
Okay. Right
Is that okay with you guys? Yeah. And then we might need someone to actually just brace it up.
Oh, Candace, she volunteered to do that.
Okay.
Height, make any difference?
Shit, height. Hold on a second. Let me get a measuring tape. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Fucking pen. Stupid. What's up?
When you got it.
Yeah, I just.
So that everyone could just measure their own.
I just want to like sit on.
Is that a good height?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah?
Let me see that. You need help with that? Anything? You all good?
I think we're good as long as you know.
Cool.
You got enough to do. Let me do this.
Okay, thanks.
All right. We're ready to
Okay,
lock ours up.
right here. Nails are right here. But they have the, you want to get the hammer?
It's easier to bring that line is where the top of it goes.
The bottom. Oh yeah, well, wait, the top goes up here, yeah.
I'm encouraged to take out my dad's old wood burning kit and do something with mine.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So we're gonna have this facing inwards, okay?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
just gonna hold
Okay.
it. That's why I'm here.
Your dad